Hello there, I'm Vine, and today I have for you a general planet build to close my trio of planet build videos and finally move to habitats in the future. And this time I'll start not with the mechanics but specific usage cases of this build. Because why even bother with generalized planets if we already have dual planets and specialized planets? Well, because we get a general planet at the start of the game, and this build is nothing else but an optimized version of our starting capital. True, for most empires we wanna specialize the capital, but before specialization, if we don't use any wacky empire build, there is a transitory period where we optimize it. This is the first usage of this build, very early game capital. Of course, we don't have to finish it, just follow it to the point where the specialization starts. Disclaimer: you can use this build for the one planet challenge, but you should avoid doing this as optimizing the capital actually makes this challenge way harder. One planet challenge typically requires a specialized capital. The second valid usage of this build is in the late mid-game and endgame, specifically when we start getting a large number of planets via conquest or vassal integration, especially from AI which has terrible ways of development that wreak havoc on players' economy. Then we simply generalize the planet to make it full income with no deficits, remaking it into an economical stabilizer instead of disruptor. Of course, there is always an option to resettle all the pops and abandon the inefficient planets, but 200 influence for each is a quite steep price, and a finished generalization gives us a clean output. The third usage case is for the noobs. This is the most lazy and noob-friendly planet that is absolutely enough on lower difficulties, as it does not require to plan any grand economy around it. Just do the same thing on all planets you settle and get the income with no deficits. So yes, generalized planets are useful even if the experienced players hardly use them. Of course, there is also the trick with one resource district unlocks that is actually a pseudo min-maxed variant of this planet build. The long story made short, this is a cheap trick for people that cannot balance their specialized planets properly. In my honest opinion, one resource district unlocks are a skill issue, and I'm judging you for wasting pops and bonuses. But to be completely fair towards players that use this trick, if you wanna see an empire build where this is not wasteful but smart, I'm linking my civilian build in the card and video description. Moving along. I present this planet build with an empire that has no civics, no perks, no species traits, etc. The numbers you are seeing on the screen are the most basic numbers we get after researching all technology naturally. This includes not only planet outputs but also deficits, so the design works regardless of specific bonuses for any given empire, as you can just pump these numbers up. Also, the fun thing about the generalized planet design is that it can have any planet designation, any ascension level, and the planet ring is optional. So again, it's very noob and conquest friendly. Now, the first building we build is an amenities one, and that must be Holo-Theatres. I know that now it's meta to use the luxury residences instead, but we do it for the entertainer jobs specifically, as they and their variants are providing not only amenities but also unity. This fact will be important later on. Second is the Grove building, must have in today's Stellaris on every planet. Gene clinics are on the list for all empires that prioritize auto modding over pop growth. Third to build is the Trade building. Any will do, as they provide the same amount of trader jobs, but obviously the higher output bonus, the better. The case is that we don't have access to better ones without high-level research or on undeveloped planets. The fourth building we build later on in the planet's development or redevelopment process. And that's the Stronghold for defense, armies and naval capacity. The Generalized Planet gives all resources and the naval cap is one of them. The fifth building from the basic 5 slots is the special building. Planetary shield generator by default for all planets in the potential war zone or cosmic storm, but it is switchable with any building that comes from civics, ascension or planetary features and is needed for your playstyle. So yeah, even the general planets can be customized. Now, time for city district specializations, and those are archives and mixed industry, the most general specializations we have. Order between them is irrelevant, but technically mixed industry first better covers planetary deficits during development, while archives first gives better production. In the archives we must build 2 research labs to get proper research output, as specialization alone is not enough. Unlike for Unity, as we only need to build an Autochthon Monument that provides output bonus for all jobs, including bureaucrats, entertainers and politicians, no matter if automated or not. This is why we need entertainers on the planet. Also, Monument is the first building we have to put while optimizing starting capital. Remember this. As for mixed industry, we have 3 buildings in order. Civilian Industries building to manage pop upkeep of all other jobs and pops on the planet. Absolute must have, as without significant reductions to both upkeeps, the planet is in huge deficit without it. Ministry of Production for general output bonus that covers metallurgists and artisans alike, and additional politician jobs that provide unity. Third one is Ancient Refinery, technically a late game building that increases job upkeep, but practically it's the only option that covers all 3 strategic resources in a very efficient manner. Absolute must have for zero deficit planet. We finally come to resource districts. No one district unlocks, as we are going for proper general production here. On average, for 2 urban districts we must build 1 district of each resource type to cover all deficits and get some nice production. All specializations are in the designated resource. For generator and mining districts, building slots are simple. Output bonus building plus 2 extraction buildings. For agriculture specialization, the case is different, as we do not need that much food on the planet. Of course, we build the food processing facilities for the output bonus, but instead of extraction buildings, we should follow with Storm Relief Center for the plus 200 clerks it provides, as it will increase our trade and amenities. Additional resources during storms is just a bonus here. Resource silos to provide the last resource that is not a resource, plus 5000 storage capacity. That is all. The planet is finished and produces all resources with no deficit. But one warning here. This planet design has a size cap around 20 to 25 planet size, depending on empire bonuses, as any development beyond that significantly increases amenities and consumer goods upkeep. Yes, in the given example that's partially because of low habitability, but my calculations say that this is a problem in all cases. Here the problem is just bigger. And before we go to evaluation, let's talk about automation, because it's actually useful with this planet build on conquered planets that you have to depopulate anyway or have no resource to repopulate them with. As you can see, by sacrificing clone Vats, some extraction buildings and a resource silos, we can automate half of the all workforce on the planet with no issues. But notice that the resource output is significantly lower due to decrease of pops and increased energy upkeep. Moreover, we also had to decrease number of ad-grid districts and increase the number of generator districts to accommodate new upkeep. So, the automated variant is overall less efficient, but still a valid option if needed. Now, time for evaluation. In multiplayer, it's invalid. I'm not gonna lie, This planet is not for multi, as there is a very small chance that we will have to use it before winning or losing the game. Even a variant with optimizing starting capital can be a shot in the foot, as most meta builds these days require almost instant specialization of it. In single player? Necessary. The validity of this type of planet goes 180 in single, where optimizing capital, conquering the whole galaxy, or just lazy playing makes total sense. Because with AI we can take things slower and use the pause button. As for the roleplay, it's realistic. This planet build is what planets in an intergalactic empire would really look like. Fully capable of fulfilling their basic needs and just paying resource tax to the superstate in the void for protection and migration prospects. Thanks to this, you can even roleplay as a true federation of fully autonomous planets that cooperate instead of being managed by political power of higher level. Anyway, what do you think about this build? Write your opinion in the comments, remember to visit channel's Discord, and see you later!